Hi there, people. Welcome back to Spray Love. And here I am, walking you towards spring. And yes, spring has been quite non existent for the past month, at least here in Canada. Um, it comes and goes, it comes and goes. But I still believe in spring, and so I have started wearing my spring fragrances. I'm not a firm believer that you should wear fragrances in only one specific season, but I like reminding myself that spring is gonna come and that it's gonna warm up, so I do wear some spring fragrances. So, what about what spring fragrance to wear? I'm going to give you some tips about 5 spring fragrances that I believe are very good. These are mostly men's fragrances, but like I said, it's always a question of like you can try them, like whoever you are. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. So the first I'm going to talk about is the one I'm wearing right now, which is Fleur's Father Figure. So that is a brand that I didn't know. So these are all like designer, you know, affordable fragrance mostly. So this one is like another one of those very affordable fragrance that you can buy at Sephora and that it smells fantastic. It kind of has like a creaminess because of like the fig, but it's more green in nature. It's kind of a yeah green kind of woodsy herbal fragrance with that kind of creaminess and fruitiness from the fig. It smells awesome. It kind of smells like it's kind of like a second skin scent. It smells a little bit musky. It smells kind of dark and kind of rich, like kind of woodsy. So it's very nice. On me, I think it smells very sexy. So I like it a lot. And yeah. So apart from that, sometimes I really like to wear Prada Luna Rosa Carbon during the spring season because it's a very versatile fragrance. So it's not like there's something special to it. You could even say that Prada Luna Rosa Carbon just smells a little bit like Dior Sauvage, which is like the most popular fragrance out there. So is it that good because it smells like another fragrance that's very popular? Yeah, it is. It's a cleaner, I think, like cleaner, more like fizzy version of Dior Sauvage. I really like it. It's one of the first fragrances I've ever worn. It's kind of a more basic fragrance, but it's mostly like a fragrance that you can wear anytime in any circumstances. It's uh, always good, and it does smell great. And even Dior Sauvage does smell great. Um, Maybe it's like overused or something, but it's really like it smells great. It smells amazing all the time. So that one I really like to wear. To me, it smells like a Sprite. Like like the soda, the Sprite. It kind of smells like that. It has this fizziness to it, and the more it dries down, the more it gets like kind of darker with like the ambroxan and everything, so it gets like ambery dark and kind of dense, but also it still retains kind of like that fun factor, that kind of fizziness, that kind of cleanliness also is present all throughout. And it reacts very well to sweat. So whenever I want to go to the gym and I spray that on, I kind of even smell better when I sweat with that fragrance on. So it's very close to the goal. You sweat a lot in different circumstances in life, so it's important to have a fragrance that works well with that. Um, Afterwards, if we're talking about Dior Sauvage, could we talk about Dior Eau Sauvage, which is a fragrance from the 60s? That was kind of like the lady killer fragrance from the 60s, which is funny because now it's like Dior Sauvage, but back then it was that fragrance. So it's a men's fragrance that was competing a lot with Chanel Pour Monsieur. Uh, it is a classic, citrusy, very like very elegant, very refined fragrance. But it has some depth to it, and it has some level of intensity to it that is kind of hard to get nowadays with citrusy fragrances. Most of the time, citrusy fragrances they make them uh, very volatile, very eau de cologne like, very light. But this one is kind of like it packs a punch, and the lasting power in that fragrance is amazing. It has like some musks also added to it, and that fragrance is um, yeah, it's old school, but why is it better for spring than necessarily all the like? It's an all year round fragrance, to be honest. Like it was like a very elegant fragrance for a long time, and it's still very elegant. But I do believe that it has something magical in spring because it is a citrusy fragrance, so it has that fresher kind of vibe, but it still retains some of the depth and darkness that you would want in a more like colder month for like fragrance. So it's kind of an in between, just like spring is kind of an in between between winter and summer. So it's a great fragrance to transition from one season to the other. um, then we have like a fourth fragrance. For me, there's this fragrance by Kilian that is called Kissing Burns 6.4 calories per minute, wanna work out, something along those lines, if I recall correctly. We'll just call it Kissing right now, like Kilian Kissing. It's fine. This one is probably the least affordable of all the fragrance I've mentioned. Um, but it is a very nice fragrance, and it is directly associated for me to spring because spring marks the beginning of the flowers blooming, and specifically one flower is associated with the start of spring, and it is the lily of the valley. And this fragrance is a lily of the valley heavy fragrance, so it's lily of the valley, and there's kind of a milky undertone, kind of a more dense creaminess, like milkiness, and sugary aspect to the fragrance. It's a Kilian fragrance, so it's definitely more on the sugary side. It is probably the most feminine leading fragrance that I'm going to mention today. So but it is great. I love wearing that fragrance. You can spray once, and it's nuclear. It really is. It's completely bonkers. Like the projection of that fragrance is amazing. Um, but it still has this lily of the valley vibe, so it's very associated, for me at least, to spring, because lily of the valley, it's spring in France. It used to be like they would call this is the first day of spring when lily of the valley would just start to bloom. That was like, oh yeah, this is the 1st of May. That was their idea of the 1st of May, is that yeah, there's lily of the valley, so we're in May, so it's great, summer's coming. So um, for me, that fragrance is really like a killer one. And we're gonna end the list with the most affordable spring fragrance ever, but it is spring in a bottle for me. It's Versace The Dreamer. This is like a white floral fragrance with kind of a bubblegum sweetness to it. It costs like $40, like not even. I think I bought my bottle for like, I don't even remember. It's been so long up to that point. This fragrance is just crazy good for the price. It's amazing. It has this kind of like dreamy character to it. The floral aspect also. It is a fragrance that is marketed towards men, but it is highly unisex because it's very very floral. I think all the women out there loving white floral fragrances could eventually love that fragrance too. But it has that kind of tobacco leaf added to it that kind of creates like more of a masculine-ish side to the fragrance. I wouldn't call it like necessarily super masculine, but it kind of gives like a bit bolder note to the fragrance, and it's a fragrance that I really love. It's unique, it's original, it's super affordable, and it's a fairly like it's a very recognizable brand. Versace is like so recognizable. They have like so many great offerings. There's like the Dylan Blue fragrances. There's the Eros line. It's amazing that they produced this fragrance that is mostly sold at like discounters for like a very low price, and it still is crazy like beautiful. It's called the Dreamer, and you kind of really understand why it's called the Dreamer when you first spray it on. It has like, yeah, it's kind of like if you mixed Issey Miyake's L'Odyssée with Le Male, but you added like kind of a little bit of tobacco to it so that it gets a little more like bold. It's great. I love that fragrance, and it's like a very typical '90s fragrance. Like L'Odyssée and Le Male are very typical '90s fragrance that are huge hits from the '90s. So yeah, so I hope you did enjoy the video, and you know, yeah, spread love and spray love. Have a great one. Bye bye.